Hey everybody, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today we are doing a somewhat transformation on my client. She decided to grow out her tapered cut and came in and said she wanted to go ahead and get her style back. Her hair just not feeling the way that it normally would. So she grew it out and now it's time for us to go back in. So what I did was start out by parting out her crown. Now, when you're doing tapered cuts, you guys, everything when it comes onto a haircut goes with the anatomy of the head. So whenever I'm doing the parting of my client's crown, I always make sure that is within, or actually it actually stretches right to the parietal ridge, which is that area right near the temple. You can actually feel the parietal ridge. It feels like a ridge on both sides of the head. That tells you exactly where to place your crown. And then the crown actually extends back to right above the occipital bone. So hairstylist, anatomy of the head, you definitely want to make sure you understand how that works. Now, you guys know that I am not a textured style person. I like to care for the hair. I like to color the hair. I've just never been all into textured styling. But when it comes on to anything with a haircut, I will always take on the challenge. So I started out, of course, by giving her a preliminary cut, basically just creating the shape of the tapered cut. If you guys know, a tapered cut is a tapered cut is a tapered cut. So really what I'm doing is just creating that shape. And then before I colored her, I wanted to go ahead and do her shampoo. So I started out by saturating her hair first. And I want you guys to take note of my new camera, okay? I'm using my new iPhone camera, and it has this thing called Cinematic on it, and I absolutely love it. So I'm starting out, that was a side note. I'm starting out by, of course, clarifying her hair and her scalp by using our Elite Clarify, which is a gentle cleansing shampoo. Perfect for all hair types. This is going to be the first shampoo when you are starting your shampoo process. It's going to clean the hair, but it's also going to leave in some of that moisture in the hair. But it'll clean and the hair and the scalp. So that's definitely important when it comes on to starting your shampoo process. It's just very important, you guys. I don't skip this step, especially for my natural babies. Actually, natural or relaxed, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm not doing a relaxer, that is exactly where I'm at. So I am starting out her treatment shampoo, of course, with our Hair Repair and Growth Shampoo. Now, this shampoo is getting a new name and a new look. And when I say new name and new look, it is actually going to be called Elite Hair Repair and Restore Shampoo and Conditioner. It's just getting a facelift, and it's actually going to be sulfate free. It will be releasing as of November, right before our Black Friday sale. So I'm super duper excited about that as well. So I started out, of course, with our new and improved Elite Hair Repair and Growth Shampoo. And then we will go into her color. Now let's talk color. My client here is what we would consider her to be 100% gray. And by 100% gray, meaning all of her scalp is silver and white, or silver or salt and pepper, okay? So that's why I call her 100% gray. Some people are 50% gray. Other people are 25% gray. In her case, she's 100% gray, but she's been coloring her hair in between. So before we do our color, we are actually going to do a protein treatment. She did have some shedding going on. So I started out with our Elite Repair RX, and this is our super protein and reconstruction system. She went under the dryer without a cap for about 15 minutes, and then I'm rinsing off step 1, which is the treatment portion of the protein treatment. And then we go into the color. So I kind of like mix myself up. But that's another thing that we'll talk about when it comes on to hair color, you guys. When you are dealing with hair color, you always want to do your treatment before you do your hair color. You don't want to do your color and then do your treatment. Reason being is hair color will lose a lot of its longevity or its lifespan because you're basically already starting the shampoo process and you just did it, right? Or the conditioner process and you just did it. So I wanted to make sure that I did her treatment first. And that last conditioner that you saw me put on her hair is the hydrate portion of our super protein system. It comes as a set. One needs the other. So you basically get everything that you need to be able to do the protein treatment and stop the shedding almost instantly in less than 20 minutes. Now, I know you guys are sitting there wondering, why am I using our Elite Control Edge Control on her hairline? So this is a pro tip for those of you who have lighter skin colors, or you're using darker shade colors or staining colors. You can use some of the Elite Control on the hairline right around your skin area, and it will serve as a protectant because it is a gel or pomade base. So it'll be a barrier where the skin will not stain around the hairline, which is one of the most common problems that we all have. So it won't stain those areas, and it'll actually protect those areas. You can put it on the ears, hairline in the front, hairline in the back, the sides, wherever, and it will allow or basically work as a barrier, just as though base would, but it's even thicker than a base, and the hair color cannot get through the edge control. So that's the good thing about it. So another purpose for our Elite Control. So what I'm doing now is applying a nice red color, if you guys can tell. This is what we call a gray coverage kind of service. I'm not doing gray blending. I'm doing gray coverage. This is with a 10 volume. Okay, this is like the lowest level of volume you can get for the hair color line that I'm using outside of Zero Lift. So this color is actually from the company called Pravana. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but when you're dealing with gray coverage, typically 10 volume is going to give you the most deposit and the least amount of lift, and it is great for gray, especially gray clients like herself. So the color is now complete. If you guys can tell, it came out as a nice deep mahogany burgundy color. Her gray is all covered up, and it came out really, really nice. So what I'm doing right now is just going through and shaping her hair and getting her hair prepared. I am going to give it a little bit of definition with our Elite Silk Wrap Foam. But before I can do that, I had to make sure that the shape was right, you guys. That's very, very important. When you're dealing with tapered cuts, it's kind of like for women, you don't really want to do it like the barber type tapered cut. The reason is we want a soft head. You want your style to appear soft. You don't want it to appear like a block. And that's typically what barbers do to women. They give us blockheads because they're so used to cutting men who want it like, I always call it, if you can see my hands, it's like straight lines. And they want it to be nice and crisp. Whereas women, you want it to be nice and blended and mellow and soft because you're a woman. You want to appear soft, I hope. But as I said, everybody's technique is going to be different. I do mine like this. I just like my women to look nice and soft and like a woman and not like a dude at the barbershop. I'm sorry. I just have to say it that way. Anyhow, her sides, of course, and her back are going to appear a lot brighter than the hair in the crown. Reason being is, guys, the hair on the sides and the back is a lot shorter, so there is a lot more gray in that area, whereas the hair that's in her crown, she's been coloring it for forever, so it already has color or pre-existing color in those areas, and it's not as much gray or white or silver hair. So the sides and the back is going to appear brighter. That is normal. How you can alleviate that, you can put a darker color red in that area and then put the lighter color red in the other area. Me personally, I like the different hues of reds. I feel like it gives it contrast and life. I had to figure out the word to use. And I just feel like it just gives her a customized look. I'll say it like that. A customized look. It sounds expensive. I should charge that kind of price for those customized looks. Sorry, you guys. I cracked myself up. Okay, anyhow, what I'm doing right now is just going through. I'm edging her up. Fading out her sides, just giving her that softness, and then just cleaning it up, of course. Now, if you guys know, when I'm doing tapered cuts, I always tell you guys, for women, I do not fade or edge the front of the face. I only kind of like taper it down. Why? Because that also can give you the appearance of hardness or make it more like, I'm going to say this without being offensive, it gives you the butch look. And my clients are not butches. So it is what it is. Who don't like it, I'm so sorry. I didn't know how else to describe it. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is go through and mold out the top of her crown, give her some loose coils. This is the part where I always tell you guys, listen, I'm not a natural hair texture kind of person. I can do my little thing, I can do my little comb twist. I know how to pull it out, all that good stuff. But I'm also one of those people where I like overnight natural hair. I don't like it when it first gets done, and you'll see why. It came out good, but I like it when it's overnight, and I like it when it is nice and full, and you can't make it too full the first day because then the client's hairstyle won't last very long. So that's another reason why I'm kind of giving you guys a preliminary conversation, because I just know oh my gosh, I like it the next day. So just understand what I'm saying when I'm saying. Okay, so let's talk about the technique. What I'm doing around the sides and the back is I'm just using my comb to create comb twists. So this is for hair that is typically 3 inches or less. I will use my comb and comb twist it all the way out. There are different ways to do textured styling. Like you can use combs, you can use your fingers, you can 2-strand twist it, you can braid it. I just use the comb twist just to give it slight definition. And then as it gets to the area where the hair is a lot longer, I start using the comb and then finish it out with my finger. The reason why I do that is because the comb twist, it can sometimes give too much tightness. Like you don't want it to be like extremely tight. Some people do, some people don't. So you'll see exactly what I mean. So I start with the comb, and then towards the end, I just drag the comb out just because I just want just like a natural looking coil rather than a forced comb coil. But you can do this in any way you want. You can 2-strand twist it, as I said before. At some points, I use my finger. I just started with the comb and then I went back with my finger and just allowed that coil to retract on its own. And it just gives you the appearance of ununiformity. Like it's just a tapered cut, guys. Like you don't want it to be too uniform. You don't want it to be too like this is placed here and this is placed there. Because as the days go by, you're going to use your pick and pick it out and make it fuller and fuller and fuller. And you just want it to look natural. You don't want it to look forced. That's just my take on it. Some people like the forced look. I don't. Anyhow, yeah, I didn't spray anything on her hair. At this point of the style, I'm basically just applying some Afri-Goddess Revive serum and also Rejuvenate Balm on my fingers and then going through and pulling out the coils. Now, you do not want to do the pulling out of the coils when your fingers are dry. It is going to make the hair frizzy and it's not going to have any luster. So you do want to make sure that you are keeping the hands moist or the fingers moist. And as you are pulling them out, if you guys notice, I have some Rejuvenate Balm on the back of my wrist. And that is just so that I can keep my fingers nice and moist as I go through quickly. Okay? Now, you guys, the finished style is going to be on the first day. It's typically not your best friend the first day. The second day it gets better and better and better. But I want you guys to comment. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me what you guys thought about the finished look, the color. And thanks so much for watching. Peace.